welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things. And I know this looks like a mess, but I actually have a method to my madness here. We are going to talk about my planner system. So if you stuck around here for a little bit, I used to use the Hobonichi A6, I don't know, the cousin. It was a much smaller size, the one that was split into two, the Avec. I used that for book tracking, and then I used a big Hobonichi for day-to-day stuff. But that system was no longer working for me anymore, so I realized, okay, if I'm not keeping up with it, then I need to switch to something else. So I use the A5 binder system, and then I have two notebooks that I use. So I'm going to talk about the supplies that I use, and then I'll break down like everything else that's going on here. So this is my main binder. This is where all of the like day-to-day stuff goes. Before I archive it, it all just goes into this binder. I have two binders here. This is the archive for my day-to-day planning. Once essentially like 2 months have passed, so like May, June was passed, and so I put May and June in here. And then once July, August passed, I've put them in here as well. This is just kind of currently my archival process. I'm not totally sure if I'm going to stick with this specifically, but this is what I've got going on. We don't actually even need to look at this archive. I'm going to put it away. Then we have my reading archive, which I will go into a little bit more detail. I'm a little bit worried that this is not going to be big enough for my reading, so I might have to change archival systems for that and get a bigger binder. But this is going to be any books that I finish, or they go in here, my wrap-ups go in here, etc. But my actual reading pages don't go in here until they are filled out, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. The other notebooks I use would be my field notes. I'm still using my field notes. I still love my field notes. It is where I plan out my reading. It's where I script videos like this one. I really enjoy it. I've just used field notes for a couple of years now, and they just are really helpful for me to get my thoughts down, and I enjoyed that a lot. And then I got this free notebook from Hobonichi quite some time ago, and I have been using it for doodles. So not a lot to show here. But we've just got some various doodles from different things. I kind of wanted to try to keep it as a daily thing, but obviously that's not working out. But I do want to try to doodle on paper a little bit more, so that's what I have this for. I also don't need this anymore, so I'm going to put it away. Other supplies that I have are, I actually have blank A5 paper that already has hole punches in it. Hold on. I used to only have this in brown, so some of the planner pages you'll see are in that brown, but I have blank A5 paper with the hole punches already, and I just load that up in my printer. So when you see some of these layouts and stuff, that's how I get them on there. My printer, it prints in A5, so that's helpful. I also have an HP Smart printer. I'm not going to show you that, but I have that. Then this hole punch, I use it. It's A5. I've had it for a billion years. It's probably from Michaels, if I had to guess. So is the like main daily planner. It's probably from Michaels like 100 years ago. For printing out photos, I use this Kodak Mini 2 Retro. Thank you to Phil for getting this for my birthday last year. It's super helpful. I like the photo quality. Some people don't, but I like the photo quality. And I think it's been really a joy to have for my planning. I was using it a bit last year, obviously, also, but it's really solid. If I'm just printing out one photo, then I'll just hole punch it and put it in my binder. For writing and stuff, well, for sticking things to things, first I've got these square glue sticks. I think I was using them last year too. They last a pretty long time. I like that they're square so I can go corner to corner. Got them off Amazon. They work great. And then I have glue tape, which is generally used for scrapbooking. I use it for like photos because the photo paper is such a different material. It's much more glossy. And so I don't know that the glue stick would work as well. I haven't actually tried it, but I just don't know if it'll work as well. So I use glue tape instead for things like that. For writing, I'm just trying to cover all my bases here, y'all. For writing, I generally use a Pilot G2. I've used Pilot G2s for a really long time. I'm left-handed and the ink dries pretty quick, and I like the, it's the 5, and I like it. So I've literally used Pilot G2s for years. I also use the pen from the Hobonichi Techo. I have like many of these pens from ordering Hobonichis, and so once this one runs out, I'll just go grab another one. I have like 3 more in here, I think. But I really like it for marking off things in different colors. That's it. I don't like to use the black pen for writing anything, but yeah. I do have mild liners because I've been using paper planning for a very long time. So I've had mild liners for a very long time. I have them in lots of colors. And then I have these that I'm pretty sure are used for like Bible note-taking. I don't know, but I have like a ton of them. I just thought I would grab just one. I like this because it's square. That's it. I think it's fun. The colors are muted. They're very, very muted compared to the mild liner, and I think I like that sometimes, not always. All right, let's talk about my day-to-day planning, or actually, let me show you my day-to-day planner, and then we can talk about my day-to-day planning and how that looks, and then we'll get into book stuff. So my day-to-day planner looks like this. It's split up into really specific sections for me. We've got the first little tab here, we've got our full year here, and then we've got a period tracker that I'm obviously no longer using. And then we have September. I'm not going to show you the other days because it has a bunch of CLEARURSHT stuff on there that I'm not ready to reveal yet, but at this point I would have swapped these, already posted them, and the cut schedule would have come out already, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But these are the other calendar days, and then I've got a little thing from the art crawl in Wimberley that I thought was kind of nice. The big thing about this that I've really enjoyed is that I just like bring home paper scraps of shit, and then I just like hole punch it and stick it in here, and then I can remember what we did. August has technically already been moved into the archive, but I went ahead and left the very last week so you can see what that looks like filled out when I put it in here and leave it in here. So we got to see baby for the first time. That week we went to roller derby, and so I entered the raffle. I lost. This was our parking ticket, and then this was the actual little thing that they give when you go to roller derby. And I really enjoyed that. I like that I can just like cut these out and have them done. Then my weekly planner, and I'll show you guys a blank one of these so that I don't have to cover it up with my hand, but my weekly planner, I have journaling on one side, and then I have my actual habit tracking and task tracking here, which is really handy because I like that I can mark things off on one page. Like, this was what I had planned to do, I can mark it off. This was my moods, my habits, whatever. It's not all on one thing, and then I can flip it over and journal without thinking about all of the other clutter that's happening on my planner. I don't know, but the separation of like actual planning and diary entries is really nice for me. And then I got a Jury 7s that got canceled, so that's going to go in next week's thing. Then in this next section we have my blank pages. I try to have about 5 of these printed at a time. So I'll print about 5, and then I will fill those out, and then I'll print another 5. But these are what the blanks look like. It's very simple. I made them on Canva, and Canva largely does A6 sizing, and then I just change it to A5. I don't know why all of their templates are A6, or A4, I don't remember one of them. I revamped a lot of these just to work for me specifically, but these were Canva templates that I made work for me. And I just print them out with the printer, so then I don't have to worry about setting up the pages or anything like that, because that's just not sustainable for me. But this is what it looks like blank. Then we have what was for chore tracking, essentially, so that I could keep up with like when litter needed to be done, when bathrooms needed to be cleaned, etc. Since I got pregnant, I have not really kept up with these pages. I haven't even printed them out in a while because I just was too tired, genuinely. My husband helps a lot, but he's better at keeping up with his own chores, so that's why I just like haven't, because I just haven't had the spoons, you know? And then these are old master task lists. Or a old master task list, which is anything I think I need to do, I put on a task list, and then we'll eventually move it over to the weekly planning. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. This was meal planning at one point and grocery lists, but we didn't consistently use it, so I just didn't continue to do it. Which is the other cool thing about this method, is if something is, I don't know, if I'm not going to use something, or if it's not working for me, I can simply stop doing it and throw the page away, or what. Like, it's not like I have a giant blank page in a notebook that I can't, like, I'd have to cut out and then I feel like a failure every time I look at, like, I can just move on or find a better system and print that system out and try it out for a week, right? So I like that. In the next section, we have all of the books that I am planning on reading. So for Sapphic September, we've got like a couple of random books here and just general things. I'm not good about always writing my book reviews. I try. See, I did here. And these printed crooked. I don't know why. But I'm not very good about always writing a review, but I try to write a review. My original reading planner pages, it was the whole page. I don't think I have any to show you that. I can show you when we look at the other thing. It was a whole page, and that was too much space. I literally just needed to be able to write a couple of lines, especially for when I'm like talking about the books or I'm doing my wrap up. I can just reference those couple of lines and go, oh, I know what I was talking about, and go on from there. So that's largely it. We've got a couple of little zip up bags that I could put things in. I don't have things in there. This was how I was tracking the reading, which was from Megan Rhiannon's Petite Glooms stuff. But I'm not using that now. But I really like that I can just stick stuff in here. Like we've got stickers, we've got just like random paraphernalia. I really like that. What it looks like when I daily plan is this. These are the pages that are always out throughout. Sorry if I'm rattling things. These are the pages that are always out throughout the week. I leave them in front of my desk, and then on Mondays I put away the old planners and stick them in here, and then I just I swap them out to new planners. So I keep this little thing on here so I don't lose them. So this is a task master list. I switched them from long tasks and short tasks. So like something that wouldn't take me a very long time can go here, and then okay. And then something that would take me a little bit longer, like planning CLEARURSHT, some crochet projects and stuff, they're all gonna go on this other page, this other side. So that's how I've been using both more effectively. Look, here's this video. I can mark off that I filmed it. So that's what this is for. And I really like using this. The layout is also from Petite Gloom. I do think I should make my own. But for right now, this works just fine for me. This is this week's weekly planner, my journal, and then we've got the books that I'm currently reading. Like I just finished this book, and I'm not going to start any of these books, so this realistically, this page should go back in here. And then I'm currently reading Roller Girl, so this page stays out, and this is the audiobook that I should be starting next, depending on if it comes off of hold sooner. And so these are just the books that I know are coming up next, so they get to stay out so that I can use them for planning. So that is what the daily planner looks like. Let's take a look at my book archive real quick. Again, sorry if you guys are shaking me. My tripod is between my legs, so there's only so much I can do. This is the book archive, and it doesn't have any information you guys actually haven't heard yet, so that's good. For my mid-year stats, literally, I used to handwrite them, but now I just put them in something like this, and I could have made this bigger for myself, but I didn't. This is where I put, and I need to put in August's. This little thing here, realistically I could hole punch this and just put it here or make a printout, but this is my top and bottom books for each month. I pick one, and then at the end of the year, that's how I get my battle rankings. I've done it this way for quite a long time. It works out well. I don't have to like go through the top and bottoms because I don't keep my notes really well. I mean, I do now, but I didn't used to. So this kept me from having to like look through and remember what I didn't like. So like with this, usually I try to, like I haven't done August yet, but usually I try to go, okay, this book I really, really hated this month, because the next month I might, like at the end of the next month, I might not remember what book I really hated. And these are also really old. I ordered them online, I think, when I was using the original A5 still as a planner, which would have been in like 2016. I think my husband and I had just been together. This was from Penguin Random House. It was a zine that I cut the staples out of, and then I just hole punched because I thought it would be really handy for things like Sapphic September and that kind of thing. Just to know like what queer books were coming out, especially like if anybody asked me. I thought that would be really handy. I don't know why I have nothing between these two. And these two. I think my plan initially was to like split up my reading a little bit more, but I don't really know the effective way for me to do that. So this was last month's wrap up. What I have here are all of my stats, and those get modified as I, like I ended up reading more than I thought I was, and so I had to like cross it out and rewrite it. And then this is where I put my top and bottom books. I really like that I made this as something that I can print out because then I don't have to think about it. It was like this in my original planner too, but just smaller. And this allows me to have more room, especially if someone is like, I would like to know more stats, then I have room to put more stats. Like I could make this smaller and put a whole other thing here. Like start including a book that changed my life this month. That would be a really tough thing to say because not all of the books I read changed my life. Here's a really good example of the bigger pages that I ended up not really using as effectively. So when it was a full page, I had this section for book notes because sometimes I do take notes, but I just didn't do that often enough to validate it. So now if I do feel like I'm gonna take notes, I'll either do it in my field notes, I'll do it, let's see, I'll do it on a note card, and then I can hole punch the note card and just stick it in the same thing here, and I don't lose anything. But yeah, you can see I don't. But sometimes I have taken notes. I keep saying that and then I'm not showing you any notes. Yeah, book notes. I hate the husband. See? So, you know, there's that. And here's some of that brown paper I was talking about too. So you can see the other, look, here are notes. I did take notes. I think that's when I just switched to this system specifically that I was like, all right, I need to start taking more effective notes. But that's the reading aspect of this. I think I'm gonna have to pick a different archival notebook for my reading because I don't know that it's going to fit. I don't know if you can see here, but I just have June through August in here and it's pretty full. So I think I'm gonna have to pick a bigger archive. It's not so much of a problem for my daily planning, but for my book planning, it very much is not working. So yeah, I would show you guys how I use my field notes, but at this point, it has truly become what it's always supposed to have been, chaos. It's where I just put shit down. This was when I was thinking of up a new character, so I was like reading through things and like figuring it out. This was when I was trying to come up with a website through, what is it called? I don't know, maybe editing me will remember. This was when I was working on filming a video talking about how I track things. And I still do book quotes and stuff in here. Again, I script videos, I plan reading. This is probably the most insane part to a lot of people is how I plan my reading. Because it is day to day how much I'm going to read each day, and some people are mood readers and they think that this is excessive, and it is, but it keeps me from having decision fatigue, which I experience pretty easily. I get very overwhelmed by decision making, so if I just sit down and plan this out in the most logical way possible for me, then it works. I don't get decision fatigue. And there are times, like down here, you can see that I had no audiobook planned. Well, you probably don't know that, but that means I don't have an audiobook planned, which allows me to fit something in that maybe I wanted to read, but I was like, no, I have my TBR, whatever, I can fit those things here. So that's it. I say as if that is not excessive and a lot. That is all of my planning things. I like this system right now. It works really well for me. I've considered going to the weeks again, and I might do that next year when my life is a little bit more upside down with the baby and everything, because I don't know that this would be as sustainable, but having a small weeks planner might work better. But for right now, this works really well, especially because it gives me a place to put all the paper paraphernalia and feel like I'm really archiving parts of my life, especially with how bad my memory is. This is just like very satisfying to do. So that is it. That's the video. It's long. I'm sorry, I guess. But hey, I didn't film it upside down this time, so if you have any questions about the planner system or whatever, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to talk to you about it. It's chaos mode for the most part, but it works really well for me. It is both structured and also unstructured enough that I don't feel stuck and I don't feel obligated to stress out about filling something out because it's a really big blank page. I don't get any of that anxiety anymore. So this has all worked really well. But yeah, if you have any questions or want to talk about anything or like have any templates that you really like for planning, let me know. And I think that's it. So I am gonna go. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't enjoy this, that's totally fair. It's a planner video on a book channel. But if I could make it better for my next planner video, let me know in the comments how I could do that. Not shaking the tripod probably would help. I'm so sorry. What else? I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, except for the first full week of the month, and in March next year, because I'm probably going to be taking maternity leave. But yeah, so I will see you guys later this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks. Bye.